I'm a beast. Hey y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Two Scrippers, One Motherfucking Pole. That's two SKR. Whoa. I be forgetting how to spell sometimes. I taught art, not English or any other subject. So when I get things wrong that aren't art related, that's my excuse. When I get things wrong that are art related, this universe is expansive and I'm still learning. I think I talked about the time uh when I was working on my manifestation series, and I had actually put energy into making reels, and I had did a resin pour, but this is when I first started working with resin, and I didn't have gloves on, and you couldn't see my face, but I definitely didn't have on a mask. And the way people just chewed me out in the comments, what are you doing? That's toxic. You need gloves. You need this. You need that. You need da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I was like, dang, I couldn't have said that a little nicer. Like, Jesus, people really be angry. And I'm like, I'm not the one you should be angry at. You should be angry at the government. Everything's the government's fault. Speaking of which, today is Juneteenth. Um, y'all, I don't know what's going on, but like the other day, I went to the bathroom and the top part of my belly button ring fell out, and I have not been able to find it. So then I switched to a different belly button ring, and ever since then, I think like my stomach is having some allergic reaction. Cause ever since then, my belly button has been itching. I did take the ring out, and so I've been going probably about like a week without it. Um, oh shit, and that's exaggerating. It hasn't. It definitely hasn't been a week, but it's been a lot of days to almost a week. So, yeah. Um, Anywho, as I was saying, today is Juneteenth. And so if you don't know what Juneteenth is, I'm here to tell you what Juneteenth is. So on January 1st, 1863, which is considered Freedom's Eve, is when the Emancipation Proclamation. I don't know why I can't read, or why I just had difficulty saying that, even though I know what the word is. I'm also getting distracted because there's some kind of bug outside, and it looks like some mix of like a dragonfly, an ant, and a fly, and it bothers me. Like, I appreciate nature. I'm grateful for nature and all of the varieties of species, but it is a little unsettling to see how many things with wings at that. So it's like, even if I try to get away from you, I really can't. Like, if you lock in on me, I'm done. And then trying to get you, like, like I said, whatever episode that was, I be trying to be nice to bugs and like usher them out of the apartment. But after a certain point, it's like, bitch, you gotta die. Because why are you here? These bills are too expensive for you to be just flying around like it's the goddamn park. No, we pay bills here. And if you're not gonna pay bills, you need to get out or you're gonna die. Anyway, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed into effect, freeing enslaved African Americans. And this actually did not free all of the enslaved people. So that's where Juneteenth comes in. Was it 2.5? I'm reading from the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Actually, I've been there twice, and honestly, it's so upsetting. Like, when you start from the bottom and they show you how we were brought over here. They have like Emmett Till. They just have so many, like, all of the traumatic history. It's really hard. And it's honestly like, as a black person, when you go there, you just want to smack every white person you see after that. Like, what the fuck? Reparations, reparations, reparations. Like, I just be wanting to slap box all them bitches, because why the fuck did your ancestors do this, and why the fuck y'all still acting like this? And it's definitely, I feel like it's not a museum. At least I haven't met anybody who has done the whole museum in one day, because it's just so much. And that bottom half is just, oh jeez, like, whew, you gotta definitely like have some kind of grounding exercises to bring yourself back up after you leave that. And then as you go up, it starts talking more of like pop culture. And I forget, I think it was my mom who said it was like, it did feel like once you went upstairs though, that it was just like a little bit more like, for lack of a better words, whitewashed, in terms of like, y'all could have, well, okay, so what she has said more specifically is like, Parliament and Funkadelic and all of that, like the music, she was like, it really didn't hit the same to see like the spaceship and Boosie Collins like outfits and all that stuff. Like, it didn't hit the same in the museum as it did to actually be alive during that era and like be able to experience that for herself. And in that sense, it felt like more whitewashed or watered down. Watered down is a better word, which is still isn't the verbatim she used, but like, I feel like that's my translation of it. And in some ways I could definitely agree. I think I made it up to like the sports floor the first time I went. And then the second time I went, there was an exhibit on Afrofuturism. And they were talking about like how, you know, in history, black people used to use like the stars to help us navigate. And Harriet Tubman, y'all know how sometimes, a lot of the time, the conversation goes one way in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this, I'm about to talk about that, and then once I start recording, I start tripping over words, and I feel like I be sounding crazy. Like, who is this bitch to be talking about this? Like, you're not. Where are the qualifications, bitch? I'm black. That's the qualification, right? But I do try to. I try to do my due diligence and make sure that I have like resources and shit. But sometimes I just be talking, and as y'all know, but that's why y'all are still here, I just be talking, and then the rambling starts, and then I sound a little crazy, and then that's where sometimes the self-consciousness comes in. Or like, I'm just too far into the episode to start over. And I'm only 8 minutes in, but I don't really feel like starting over, so we're here. Yeah, so museum, Afrofuturism. Yeah, how black people be using stars and shit. And like ancient medicines, and just how that's kind of evolved over time. And then also thinking about like how we use technology today, our influences in technology over the span of history, how basically culture is derived from a lot of the things that we do. And there was a certain part where, you know, they started talking about like Black Lives Matter, and this part was like really hard for me, because me and my friend, we were like walking through, and then I saw this NASA uniform, and the NASA uniform had Trayvon Martin's name on it. And I was really confused, because at first, like, I didn't know that Trayvon Martin was in a teen NASA program. So it was his uniform from when he was in that program, and it didn't click right away. I just saw the uniform and I saw the name embroidered, and I was like, it kind of like almost punched me in the gut. I was like, what? And then I look and I see a picture of him in the uniform, just like smiling, a happy kid. And I was just shattered. Like, it it hit me so hard, and I just got overwhelmed. Oh, that's my cookies. Hold on, I gotta take them out the oven so they don't burn. I was really hoping that I would be able to hear that. I was nervous. I didn't know if I would be able to hear that. Yeah, so I was like hit with a strong sense of emotion, and then another part of the exhibit, they had I forget, I want to say it was in Missouri. um and during the protest, an artist had taken a coffin and mosaicked the outside with mirror pieces. And as part of the protest, as they were like doing the marches, they had people like basically pallbearers, I believe that's the funeral term, holding the casket and walking through the streets. And it was just kind of like, this really could be any of us at any given moment. And that was like a really, especially since I love mirror and artwork because of that like forced reflection. um it was a lot. I was like, wow. And then they had was it was it they had a sweater that was worn by Luke Cage in was it Marvel, DC? I can't remember who made it. It's been a while since I've seen it. I think Luke Cage is DC. Let me Google it, cause I be saying stuff and it's like, Mango, the internet is right there. Luke Cage is a Marvel. Okay, yes, Luke Cage is in the Marvel universe. So it was like the hoodie that he wore, and it was gunshots, or I guess it wasn't really gunshots, because if it was gunshots he probably would have been dead, unless he had on like a bulletproof vest. I don't really remember what the description said. Which I also didn't realize that that was supposed to be like a homage. I don't know if that's the right word I want to use, but I'm gonna use it right now. To Trayvon Martin being in a hoodie, and I'm like, wow, the more you know. So yeah, that is where I was reading from the National Museum, the African American Art Museum, okay, or Culture Museum. Let me words. The National Museum of African American History and Culture, NMAAHC. Um, and so, in on June 19th, 1865, 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas, and announced that more than 250,000 enslaved black people in the state of Texas were free. And then this is how Juneteenth became a thing, and that's when we were finally free. Now, if you are a history buff and you're like, yo, you just butchered all of that shit, please send corrections to two scrippers one pole at gmail.com, to skrippas one pole at gmail.com. See, I knew I was gonna get it right. I just needed time. Like, I just got too excited and I tripped over my words. That's what happens. I get too excited, I just start rambling, and then I'm still figuring out when to stop sometimes. I did have an unfinished thought from Happy Juneteenth, y'all. That is my finished thought with that. And I was like, I'm gonna go stop by my job. I don't have that much to do, but I do just want to like get it out the way today. And I woke up, I was hot as fuck, because the thing is, I may have mentioned this before, in my living room, at least, the entire left side, or so I guess this isn't really a south, because south is that way. Where's the compass? Let me see what I be talking about. Should have went into beatboxing. Compass. Okay, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. when I bring what the for those of you who are listening, the reason why I'm doing that like staticky noise, um, that you're hearing when I put my compass near the mic, huh? Okay. Anyway, so it is a southeast facing. Not really. It's an east facing window, and I believe the sun rises in the east. I be making stuff up. Let me Google this. Where does the sun rise? I really be typing anything into Google and just hoping that they can put English together for me. Give me the answer. So yes, okay. So every day the sun, the moon, planets and stars appear to rise in the east and set in the west. So I have an east facing, why can't I keep adding a T? East facing window. And the entire wall is a window. So the summers are brutal because it gets hot as shit in here. Even with the AC is on right now, but y'all, it's hotter than a motherfucker. And so in my room, it's not like a ceiling to floor window, but it's the same thing. That entire wall is a window. So I have curtains up, but like I want to say like last week, one of my curtains fell because I don't have like a super long one. I have two rods, and so one of them fell, and luckily it wasn't the one that's directly across from my bed, but it still be bright as shit in there. So it'd be really hot, and this morning I got up. I tried like, cause the other thing is too, because it's so hot, the AC, bless this AC's heart, okay. It be working. It be working. It make moves in silence. Hoes might never like it, and it's fine with it nasty. It's a real nigga fantasy. It dropped dead for a broke nigga handle it, do say. I just tried to like remix that song to fit the AC, but I really didn't. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Um, so I was hot as fuck, and I had like I turned the AC. That's where I was. I turned the AC off because the bill be getting high, and I gotta keep bill control. We gotta keep the bills as low as possible. So I like go back and forth on turning the AC on and off, or like usually during the day when it's like peak heat. I leave and I'm either at work, or I've been at work a lot lately, or I go somewhere else because it just be hot as shit. So I turned the AC off, I think sometime last night. Yeah, I think it was last night I turned it off. And then I have a fan that's across from my bed, and I just have it directly on me. So I got up very lazily and like crawled to the edge of my bed to try to hit the power button, but I put too much force in that, and it knocked over the fan, and there was like this big Lowe's bucket behind it because I have some egg cartons that I'm starting to break down so I could try to like turn it into paper. And it's like the paper ones. Yeah, the paper cartons, I like started ripping them up, and I have them in a bucket because my plan is to turn it into a pulp so I can make paper out of it. And that was behind the fan, so when I pressed the button, it like went flying back, and then it it basically broke. It like crushed itself, and all of these fan pieces went flying. And I was able to like, and they like broke inside of it, so I was able to kind of like move. And it's a tower fan, so I'm like moving it back and forth, and the pieces are falling out. And so then it was able to start running again, and it like gave a little coldness, and it's not as cold as it was. But it makes a really loud sound that I just won't be able to get over. So broke my fan this morning, and I was like, fuck me. And I just laid back down. I was like, is this what my day is gonna be? And like I said, I had plans to go to work, but then I had that moment. I was like, bitch, fuck that job. stay your ass in the house. Um, Cause I really was only gonna go for like an hour or two, and then I was like, no, because I know myself, and what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get in there, and I'm gonna be there finding things to do for 3-4 hours, and then my whole day that is supposed to be a day of like freedom and reparations and rest and whatever the fuck else, celebrating my blackness, um, is now given to the white man, and these corporations and the governments. And I said, we're gonna stay in the house today. We're gonna treat yourself to a self-care day. So then when I finally I was like, let me go back to sleep. So then when I finally mustered up the energy to get out of bed, I did some yoga. I listened to Cash Commandments probably about 5 times, if not more, because Cash Doll, I love you. And she's so fucking pretty. I didn't realize that she was still pregnant. I felt like she'd been pregnant for 10 years. And so when I saw the video the first time, I was like, oh, this bitch still pregnant. And she looks so good. She's so cute. She is so freaking adorable. And that video was fire. The song is fire. Yeah. So my unfinished thoughts from last episode, I was talking about the going live camming, and the guy, he had like came in and we were like talking, and then I had taken a shower, and then he had like left. I'm guessing maybe he fell asleep or something, because he just like, we were talking and then he just vanished, and I was like, oh. So then I ended up moving into my living room, and I'm actually working on this like large piece that I just kind of keep going back and forth. I'll show y'all. I'm kind of stuck, but it is my plan to work on it today. It's a big piece. Whew. So I'm doing, my mixed media stuff. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Jesus. This is it. It don't even fit in the camera. But I'm really stuck, because this actually started out as like a green canvas. And then I did like little green footprints on it. And then I didn't really know what to do, so I left it alone for a while. Excuse me. Oh no, did it start off as a yellow canvas? Because I'm seeing yellow and I'm seeing green, but I don't really remember which came first. Like the chicken or the egg, the green or the yellow. I don't know. I think it was yellow, and then I painted some green over it. And then I did footprints on it. From there, I just kind of sat and left it alone for a while, and I didn't really know how to reapproach it. But this is kind of like a larger. So that piece over there, which I believe y'all can see, this piece, which I think I showed it in what is it? I showed it in And We're Back, which was the first episode back for this season. And then I showed like the completed version. I don't remember what episode that was, but I guess I could put a picture in there. So that is like, I'm still coming up with a title for that series. But it has the idea to do with like reimbursement opportunities, and receipts and stuff. So I was doing like a lot of collage on there, and I've been collecting things for collage over the past couple of months. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, and it's still in that realm of like, this is one of my sex work pieces. So I work on this sometimes when I go live, and everything is just kind of like that idea. So this part up here says like dirty little secrets. A lot of people have to be secretive about their interests or their involvement in BDSM or sex work. The point of no return. I think words have power, so I try to be very careful about like the things I say when conversing or advertising on my spicy sites to subs. Like, I don't really like to use like infatuation or obsessed, because I don't like. Do I like the idea? I like the idea of your wallet being obsessed with me. I want you to spend so much money on me endlessly. That's what I want. But you obsessed with me? Not if you crazy. I don't need no crazy motherfuckers knocking on my door or trying to talk to me, because it's not that. I want your money. So if your wallet is obsessed with me and you feel like you're at the point of no return, you just, oh, you can't even see that because the damn mic. I know I switched up the set today. Yes. The point of no return is, oh shit. I want your wallet, okay, to be at the point of no return for me, okay? I want you to drain that motherfucker. And then I have a piece down here that says, one journey like no other. I'll take you on the ride of your life, okay? Trust me to be your dom. I will take care of you. Escape completely, and then let the ritual begin. So this let the ritual begin, that is kind of in... So far, I mean, it's only 2 pieces that I've made that are specifically centered around like my sex work identity, and both of them have this, and that's kind of like my signature with all of this. Like, let this wallet draining ritual begin. Give it all to mama. And then like a waterfall, and this palm tree that I drew. So that's like all the collage. The palm tree is oil pastel. The purple area and this pink area is oil pastel as well. And then like the blue and this orange up here are paint. And I had a lot of fun. Like, this side of it has more texture than this side. Is more smooth. I used a paint palette to paint with that. This drawing right here, I was like, I really like it, and I had made it during an art therapy session one day, and I just wanted to paste it on here. So I'm kind of at a point again where I'm stuck, and I've just learned, you can just keep covering or taking things away. So we'll see how this continues to develop. Why did I bring that up? I completely forgot why I brought this up. I was working. That's what I was talking about. So I was working on this on live, and I ended up just getting lost in it. I think I want to say I started maybe around like 8 or 9 p.m. and I did not get off live till 5 o'clock in the morning the next day. I was on ManyVids and Loyal Fans live streaming me working on it. And it's funny because ManyVids, I'm still trying to, right now my main focus is figuring out Loyal Fans. Because I had my best month, which is nowhere near where it could be, but I had a really good month last month. And I was like, oh, I'm starting to see the capabilities, and I watched the tutorials, and everybody's like, I'm like, oh my god, this site has so much potential, I need to learn it all. And then I got COVID, and I was just like, I don't want to do anything, and I'm gonna do the law of least effort. I'm going to do what I can, what I have the energy for. And to be honest, like, it kind of sucks. I'm gonna go get those cookies because I want them. I'll be right back. Where'd my water bottle go? Oh, I just heard it jiggle. The law of least effort. What do I have energy for? So, what was I talking about? See, I was being so damn hungry going to get the cookies instead of just being patient and waiting, and then lost my damn sentence. I wonder, do y'all be like, bitch, you was talking about this? Um, I was talking about the live show. Oh, mini vids. Yeah. So I was like, well, more so loyal fans. I was doing a really good job. I was feeling pumped up. I was like, oh, my June goal is to make it into the top 1% of creators. And then I got smacked with COVID. I was like, whoo. So I've definitely had a hard time getting back into the swing of things, because then I started having to put a little bit more energy into my vanilla job, and now I'm just back in this weird, like, what the fuck does it all mean? What the fuck is the purpose? Like, a bitch is tired. Can my blessings just hurry the hell up? And trying to stop needing this instant gratification, and like restoring my faith in, like, when it's time and it'll all happen. Um and I brought that up because this night, I was going live on loyal fans and mini vids at the same time, and I don't do too much on mini vids. Um, and this time I actually had like people in the live tipping. It was like, oh my god, like, I haven't had any tips on loyal fans, right? So I'm sitting here so excited, right? But the thing is, minivids does like tokens, right? And I wasn't aware of how many tokens equal, what do they convert to in US dollars. One fucking token is 10 cent. And so, of course, they got to take their cut out. So, if somebody tips me with a token, they're tipping me 8 cents. And I was just so happy to see a motherfucking tip. I was like, ooh. So, I was just doing way too much because I saw a little token. And when I looked it up, I was like, oh, this man is tipping. Y'all, he didn't even give me a fucking dollar. I was pissed. So, it just goes back to when I have the emotional capacity to be able to navigate many vid sites, that's what I'll do. Because I really like the feature that I want to utilize the most from mini vids is that they have a store where people can legit buy items from you. So like loyal fans is definitely like my main platform, because it's like Twitter and a clip store and a camming site. It's like the supreme, and they're very in support. They're on the creators team. Like, they want you all to succeed. So they really have so many resources for you to be able to succeed. And it's just about utilizing the features that make sense for you. And so I've been doing still camming, but I've been trying to get more into like active DM sales. And people just be ignoring me. Like, they be reading my messages, but they just like, so I'm like, ugh. So I gotta figure that out. But anyway, again, the whole reason why I did this, I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning, and he comes back and he's like, oh my god, goddess, you've been up this whole time? I'm like, yeah, I gotta make the art. He's like, wow, you're doing such a great job, da da da. And he's like, well, unfortunately, I gotta go back to work, but I just wanted to come say hi. And he like tipped me before he came in, and then he tipped me before he left. I was like, oh. And then the other day, I had another person, which I'm like, motherfucker, why haven't you subscribed yet? But he came in on my live, and he was talking to me. And he's like, yeah, I know you were sick, and I just wanted to come and check on you and make sure that you were okay, goddess. I'm like, oh, stop it. So that was fun. And he's like, okay, let me get back to work before I'm tempted to go sit in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, you men are so gross. What else? This is the perfect time. So, is my code still BBMango30? I think it is. Go to Balesa, and use code, actually, I don't know if that is the code. So, use this code that I'm putting on the screen now. And then for the listeners, check the description. Because at the time of this recording, I don't know if my BB Mango 30 code has expired. So if it's not that, then it's this, whatever this is. And there's a possibility that it's still BB Mango 30. And join us or join me on Patreon at patreon.com/2scrippers1 poll, where you can find behind the scenes poll play, you can find toy talk, you can find tales of a sensual findom, and bonus mini episodes, and also original footage from season 1. So don't forget to send me sound effect suggestions to 2scrippers1poll@gmail.com. Send stories, questions, topics, and corrections and suggestions. I asked, okay, shout out to my cousin, because girl, I love you, bless your heart, but you know damn well. So I put on Instagram, I've been trying to figure out what the fuck to call y'all. I don't know what to call the listeners, so I need some help. Help me. Damn it. I don't know what to call y'all. So I had said, help me, blah, blah, blah. So this bitch gonna say pod people. Girl, it's supposed to be in the theme of a strip club. Okay? Or something, I don't know. Or maybe the theme is sex. I don't want to call y'all I don't want to call y'all patrons. I don't really want to call y'all tippers. I don't know. I don't know what to call y'all. So please give me suggestions. What else? Yeah. So, question of the week. Okay. So this week's question of the week was, if you had a superpower, what would it be? Hold on. Something just came across my timeline. I'll read it up. I'll read it out loud. Spirit message. Don't give up. You expect to have more progress toward your goals by now. You may be feeling discouraged or like you may need to redefine your goal to make them more realistic, but Spirit doesn't want you to give up, nor does Spirit want you to settle. You have to overcome your insecurities and shame first, which you have done. Now is the calm before the storm of abundance washes over your life. You don't need to change anything, you just need to stay consistent. And this may feel boring or you think you're not getting anywhere, but those floodgates will open soon enough. In the meantime, stop comparing yourself to others or trying to figure out where you went wrong. You really needed the internal transformation you recently went through to break down the wall. So be patient with yourself and have trust in the process now. You're next in line. This was... so that was something that came across my timeline from Bad and Brujita, Brianna Amos, healer, hot girl, tarot reader. So she is a Brujita, and that came across, and this was like a spirit message for the people who participated in her Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe group ritual yesterday, and I did not participate in that, but it still resonates with me. So if it resonates with you, you're next in line. Be patient. Consistency is key. Isn't that what they always say? But yeah, shout out her. Anyway, what I was looking for was the answers. You don't got the answers. Okay. All right. So, if you had a superpower, what would it be? Dimeji said read minds, and with reading minds, right? This is my thing. I'd be too nosy, and I fuck around and hear something I ain't want to hear, and then be mad. And I can't be mad at nobody else but myself. And also, my thoughts are already way too much. So I can't imagine also listening to someone else's. And at one point in time, I definitely thought like reading minds was it. And then I realized that's not what I want. Shout out Goldie. She said to fly and strength because she gonna whoop ass. And I was like, I definitely dig flying because you save money on gas and you get to sightsee. Um, and with strength, like if a bitch play with me, I could just pluck you, and then you're out of my hair. Um, Jazz, Jasmine Royal, or is it Royale? Jasmine said to teleport. And I definitely agree with that as well. And you know, when you think about teleporting, the ideal teleportation is just to be able to like snap or something and then go wherever. You don't need a passport, you don't have to like worry about it. And then if I have like my luggage, and I would say you don't need a passport because who's really gonna stop me? Like, if there's one thing, if it's like teleportation pads, then they might have like the equivalent of a TSA agent um manning the teleportation pad, so you might need a passport in that. But if it's like I can teleport myself with no restrictions, who's gonna stop me from getting into motherfucking Panama? Nobody, because who's going to be able to track that I was even there? So I could just like, and then if I have that ability, you know, that you have to get into the mechanics. Do you have to like, what is the process? Do you have to like open a portal to do that? Can I just snap and go? Can't do I have to use a launch pad or something? When I teleport, am I able to bring things or people with me? So it's as simple as just like, hold my hand, bud, and then we go on this trip. Or like, you know, I grab my luggage, I snap my fingers, and I end up where I am, but my luggage is still home. So now I have to do like priority shipping or something. So I really, you know, that's one of those things where if it was you were signing on to superpowers, you gotta read the fine print, right? And I'm gonna get the reason why I'm thinking so hard on this is I'll get to what my superpower would be. But it's really the little things, right? It's really the little things. Um, so then my cousin said to create money at will and switch bodies with people. And I was like, oh, wow. I didn't respond to that one. Actually, there were two other ones that I didn't respond to. Well, this one and then another one that I didn't actually respond to on Instagram. Um, but I definitely agree with the create money at will. Um, but then I also feel like there has to be some kind of like stipulation with that. Like, can you only make so much money within a certain time period? Because then you know, well, first of all, money is a construct because in the olden days we used to barter, and you know, capitalism, god fucking love capitalism. So really money is a construct. And there's the idea that if you have more money in flow, then it devalues. But it's like, y'all just saying that because y'all don't want to give money to the poor people and then have the poor people be able to have the same purchasing power as y'all, because y'all just, for whatever reason, like, even to have all that fucking money, what do you do with it? You can't spend all that money in a lifetime, and then you just keep racking it up, and you're so selfish about it, and you don't want to pay taxes, you don't want to help the next man. Like, clearly I'm angry, I'm upset. I painted my nails last night. Yeah, so I am interested of like what the stipulations would be at creating money at will, but I definitely agree that would be a superpower. Maybe if like every time you did it, you had to like pay it forward and give part of the money to someone else or something like that. I feel like that would be to use your powers for good. And to switch bodies with people, I need to know more about. I need to call her. Let me actually, let me FaceTime her real quick. How do I do this? This is a 8, so I don't even know what the quality is gonna look like. Let me see. I wonder if she working today. Bitch, answer the phone. Okay, great. I was just talking shit. Were you asleep?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm recording. And I was looking at the answers from the superpowers, and I was like, switching bodies. What would you want to do with that?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I would be the biggest thief. I would literally, like, with my consciousness, I would still be able to know who I am. Like, when
Yeah.
I'm switching their bodies, I'm literally switching for the fact of, like, oh, I'm gonna get them to wire me some fucking money. And I'm gonna get them to make a recording, me being in their body, of sound mind and sound body, I sent this person money. So that way, after I switch back, they're not like, what the fuck? Who did I send this money to? So thanks.
Okay, so here in my mind, I was thinking sex. I was like, I would switch bodies with a nigga and just twirl my dick. And you're over here talking about fucking thieving.
Bro, life is hard. I got bills.
Oh no, I support. I support
You'll
110%. That's actually brilliant. I did not think of that, so I'm glad I called you. Yeah, my first mind went to sex, and I was like, I was getting ready to say she probably going to do some freaky shit, and I was like, you know what? Let me just call her so I can actually get her opinion.
Crazy. The freaky shit. You knowing me, the freaky shit never crossed my mind.
Really?
I don't know how it didn't happen. I was all on the money.
Wow. I guess that shows I'm the corrupted one, but I support that 10 times more now.
Thank you.
That makes so much sense.
I got tea for you.
Ooh, what you doing today? I'm in the house.
I'm supposed to be going out to Northeast DC.
Boo! Who told you to have friends, ho?
I know, right? You sounded like Billy. I know. But we could talk after you're done recording if you'd like, because it's about Jordan, child. It's just family.
Okay. Yeah, I'll call you back.
Alright, love you. Bye.
Love you too, bye. Okay. So that was her answer. And then somebody else said that they would do telekinesis. And they said that they're going right to the bank. And hold on, because let me just take this. Shit. Let me take this out the stand. Because I think telekinesis isn't being able to move yourself, is being able to move other things. What is telekinesis? And y'all, because I just be typing shit into Google, right? Yeah, okay. So telekinesis is the ability to move objects at a distance by mental power or non-physical means. So I guess that could still work in a bank robbery, though. Everybody just want the money. I respect it. Because you could go to the bank and you could, like, speak to the money and get the money to, like, bring itself to you. And then any money that's, like, tainted with, like, the dye or the whatever, you could just send back. But then they, like, it's still that, like, they track the money with serial numbers so it could still come back to you. So we need to figure out a way for it not to come back to you. Well, no, because I was going to say, if you combine, like, telekinesis and the ability to control or, like, to switch bodies in the way that my cousin said it, and I was like, then maybe you could use the telekinesis to, like, move the money, even though it's not physically in someone's account. What you could do is, like, use telekinesis to move, like, how they have, like, the bank security boxes in the bank. You could use telekinesis to move the money into somebody's bank deposit box and then take over their body and move, like, withdraw the money. And then, but I feel like it would still be traced back to you, because then if it comes to the serial notes, it's like, all right, well, you came here and you signed this money out and then you gave it to this person. So you would still, we have to find a way so that it won't come back to us. That is the issue. That is the dilemma. But I support. Back to me just typing shit in Google. So when I responded to Goldie's, and hers was like to fly and have strength. I think I typed in like fly super strong. Like, let me look. It was something ridiculous. I said, oh, this time last year I took a little mini 2 week break that I ended up not working over. Um, okay, so I put fly super strong, and what came up was images of like the little the nylon fishing rod stuff, um and I just thought that was funny because I just be typing shit and really hoping that Google knows what I'm talking about, and sometimes it does and sometimes it refuses. So where all of this is coming from, The Boys just released their newest season. So let me preface this. If you don't, I'm not gonna say, well, yeah. So, The Boys, if you have not watched it, it is an Amazon Prime TV show. And it is not, it is not for the faint of heart. Like, it touches on some really intense and tough topics. And if you don't have a stomach for gory stuff, this is not the show for you. Like, let me just paint the picture for you. It's so crazy. One, I think it might have been the last season, season 3. Cause what? How many seasons? I think we're on season 4 now. Technically, if you want to count Gen V, it would be season 5. The Boys. Okay, yeah. So they're on season 4. So season 3, the episode, I think it was season 3, the episode opener was like this massive orgy, and it was like a superhero orgy. So all types of crazy, the show, it's a superhero show. And it's really like, it is a very intense parody of like political and pop culture. And honestly, I feel like the main character, Homelander, is what Trump would be like if he had superpowers. And that honestly is terrifying to think of. This season actually has been really hard for me. Like, I'm still watching it and I enjoy it, and I'm used to like how intense this show is. But this season has, especially because we're in an election year, is just so um but I do love the show. So back to season 3. It was a superhero orgy and like a sex party, and one of the superheroes had is like Ant-Man and can shrink to a really small size. So it shows him shrinking, and he had like did a line of, I think, coke or something, and then he shrunk and he climbed up into this other superhero's dick hole, the urethra, I believe. I don't know, let me look at the parts of the penis. Like, that's a crazy sentence. Penis anatomy. Okay. So it, yes. So the superhero shrunk down to Ant-Man size after, either was after or he had already, I don't know. He did a lot of coke at some point. He was really small. He climbed up into the urethra of this other superhero. And while he was up in there, that was them having their little sex. While he was up in there, he fucking sneezed. When he sneezed, he grew back to normal size. So he blew the motherfucker's dick off. That was an opening scene for, and if it wasn't like the immediate opening scene, it was like within the first 5 minutes of the show. That's how intense and crazy it is. I forget what the season opener was here, but it's just like they be killing people left and right. Like, there are some really sick moments, and I was actually talking to my partner the other day, because I had originally started watching it when I was living with my mom, because she was talking about, oh yeah, have you seen The Boys? I'm like, Mom, I don't watch TV. And she's like, oh my God, The Boys, it's a crazy show. So she had already, I think, been in like season 2. But she was like, no, you gotta see it. So I'm like, all right, whatever, just put it on, just to humor her. So she started from season 1, and at first I wasn't really paying attention, but the show is so insane that I was like, yo, what is happening? And we got so into it. So then we watched season 1 and season 2, and it just so happened that when we finished season 2, season 3 had just came out. So we were watching that together. And then I think last year, or either last year or earlier this year, is when they came out with Gen V, which is like, Gen V is like, I would equate it to like not Superman, X-Men, like when they brought them into like the training, to teach them how to use their powers. And I could be wrong, but it was just looking at like the teen perspective, and that, like, knowing that The Boys was a lot, Gen V was crazy. So the opening scene for that, and so the backstory too is that, this whole society really idolizes the superheroes. Like, you have the ones that are like, we don't need the people with the superheroes because they obviously can't control themselves. Like, we need more regulations. They shouldn't have as much, because they're actually very intertwined with like the rules and regulations and just like the politics of the country. And they're like, we don't need, like, they should just be like basically Marvel characters. These should be like entertainment. They should not have as much pull in politics and society as they do. So you have the people that are against the soups, because that's what they call them, soups. And then you have the people that are just like pro soups rule all. And the main character, Homelander, is just fucking that. Shout out to Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander. I really was, that's where I was saying that I really, I was talking to my partner, I was saying I really want to, watch some interviews of him and see, because I don't really know what else he's in besides that. And I was like, I just want to see how he is, in interviews, or even how I know I saw something that said he's repulsed by the character, which I'm glad, because Homelander is a sick motherfucker. But I want to see how he is in relation to the character, because I know that gotta take a toll on you. Like, that's intense. That character is so sick. So yes, Gen V. One of the openings. Oh, okay, that's where I was. So it also comes out in The Boys that these characters are not born with their superpowers. What actually happened is that Vought, which is like the parent company, they did like this chemical shit. They made like a chemical, because I taught art, not science, that they inject children with, and that's what gives them their powers. And then, you know, a lot of them go into this entertainment industry, and then some of them are picked to be like, the whole goal of being a superhero is like, you want to be part of the 7, which are like the 7 top superheroes that are basically running the country, that have all of this pull, and Homelander is the head of that. But then also, like, part of it is that once you give people so much power, how destructive that power can be. So there's like a lot of good themes and topics that are addressed, but you have to have thick skin, because some of the shit is really rough. And like, I be into sick shit. I have a crazy sense of dark humor, but this season is really doing a lot to me. Like, the feelings I be feeling in my body are crazy. So, yes, parents are signing on to their children getting these injections to get superpowers, And you can kind of think too about, since there's so much tie into the entertainment industry, about how some parents like really push their kids to fame, and that might not have never been what they desired. So you're putting this on this child to have superpowers for whatever reason. And then a lot of times they might not actually have the resources to be able to help them like really move through this. So in Gen V, there's like a university that these kids go to learn how to better hone their powers. So the opening scene, which I keep trying to get to, this black family, it's two daughters and then the wife and the mother, and they're like downstairs or whatever watching TV, and the girl's like, I need to go to the bathroom. So she goes to the bathroom and she started her period. Her powers involve basically controlling blood. So when this power is used to help others, and she has the power to heal people, because if you're bleeding out, she can make, I think the proper word is coagulate, to like make your blood clot to slow down the bleed out process. And then I think she actually has the power to like close your wound to help heal you. So that is like ideal. You're a healer. That's what your powers are for. But when you haven't, like, you don't even know that you have powers, and you don't know how to control it, and this is like already thinking as a woman, like when you first get your period, how confusing that can be, especially if there was like no conversation leading up to, you're reaching a certain age, or when you get to this age, this, like around this age, this may happen, or people around your age might be experiencing this, it may come later, blah blah blah, whatever. Like if you don't have any knowledge of a period, and I don't think that she really did, that could be a very scary moment. So she goes to the bathroom, she's on her period, and because she can like control her blood, her anxiety, she doesn't know she can control her blood, but her anxiety's up, and her blood is now floating, right? And so her mom comes upstairs, and she's like on the back, like on the outside, like, do you need any help, are you okay? And the girl inside, she's freaking out because she don't even know what the fuck is going on. Her blood is floating in the air, and she's just like, I'm fine, don't come in here. The mom, not knowing what's happening, is just like, oh, it's okay, you're becoming a woman, comes into the bathroom. The girl gets scared. Her blood shoots across the room and slits the mom's throat. We ain't even 3 minutes in, I don't think, to the fucking season. So she obviously starts freaking the fuck out, right? So that causes the husband to come upstairs, and he's like, what the fuck? The same thing happens to him. She's like, get out. The blood comes, kills the fucking father. So then at this point, she's like hit with the realization she just started her fucking period, already traumatic in itself. She done killed both of her parents using her period blood, not knowing what the fuck was going on. And then her sister comes in. Luckily, she did not kill the sister, because if she killed the sister, I just, honestly, like, me and my partner both, we got thick stomachs, and our sense of dark humor should actually maybe be a little bit illegal. Not even gonna hold you. And so, like, we both, because I didn't know about Gen V, and he brought it up, and he was like, yeah, I didn't really make it past the first episode because it was a lot. And like, for him to say it was a lot, that means it was a fucking lot. And I was like, well, put it on. And then this whole scene happened, and I was like, well, shit. And then it just got crazier from there. So if you don't like spoilers, sorry, but like, this is, I want to give you an idea of the type of shit you're walking into. And so, yeah, it was like, the sister, the younger, because it was a younger sister, also not knowing what the fuck. She just knows that her older sister just fucking killed her parents, and now they're orphans. So she don't want nothing to do with her. So she was separated from her sister, and it was just like this, her whole life, she didn't want anything to do with her powers or anything to do with that. And I think she had like got some kind of scholarship or something to go to the school. I don't really remember how that happened, but yeah, so that's intense. So back to why I brought all of this up. Um, so this season, there was a scene where one of the superheroes had excused himself from this rally, and he is caught in a sauna. Basically, he has the ability to clone himself, and he clones himself multiple times to basically create like a human centipede, and he's eating his own ass while like the person at the front of the train is jerking off to this photo of this other character. And then it was funny because this show is so fucking sick. And so when I saw that, I was like, yo, if I had a superpower, it would be to clone myself so I could fuck myself. That is like, I would love that, right? And then to just think about like I could have a threesome without having to invite anybody else. It's just two of me and whoever else. So I was just really excited about that, and I could not stop thinking about it. I was like, that would be lit, because I used to always say that, of course, like one of my superpowers would be to teleport, and that one of my superpowers would be the ability to control emotions, I got that from Jasper in Twilight. I was Team Edward, and just being able, more so not in a manipulative way, but just be able to like control the room, so that it doesn't get too violent, because I'm not confrontational. I don't like things like that, but I think in ways I already do kind of have that presence to be able to control the emotions of a room. But yeah, so I was like, I want to clone myself. I think that would be so dope. So the part that I was giggling at was because then they later, in a later scene, when he cloned himself, all of his characters were like scratching their eyes, and I was like, oh, he gave himself pink eye from eating his own fucking ass. But yeah, anyway, so this is where we start moving into like, okay, read the fine print though, because I was so excited about the potential of cloning me and having several mangoes. Um, and then later in the episode, they showed him and how he had to clone himself. And basically, he like rips apart into multiple people. And it looked so painful. I thought it was just like a snapping is 50 of me. Or, you know, like I thought it was going to be a much smoother transition. But it looked so painful and so uncomfortable. Like the way his head started twitching as he was pulling apart, I was like, "Oh, absolutely not. I don't want to do that. I don't want any parts of that." So yeah, that would be my superpower, to clone myself, under the stipulation that it has to be a peaceful transition. It cannot be that crazy shit. So that's my 2 cents on that. Another thing, I want to wish a happy belated birthday to Big Tao. She is on Minisode 6. What's the order? Spouse, child, parents, or something. I don't remember the exact title. The raw-ish, because that was a crazy episode. The raw-ish, because there was one part that I still had to cut that out. um the Raj episode is on Patreon. What else is she in? She's in episode, I think that might be episode 6 as well. Nothing But Balls. And she's on a Tales of a Sensual Findom episode in Patreon. But that's my girl. Shout out Big Tao. She just had a birthday. And so when I was younger, I used to be really fucking good at birthdays, and I don't really know what got lost in translation over the years, but I'm like, I can't remember nobody's birthday to save my life. I'd be days early or a few days late. Like Diamond, her birthday, I believe is April 9th, or is it April 7th? I can never remember. I know it's one of those 2 days. Like Anton, his birthday is April 28th, but I be telling him happy birthday on the 26th. Like I'm always within the realm of the birthday. Like it's always within 3 days of the birthday. Fucking Rhea, she's on episode 16, and I want to say that's surplus of cock rings, surplus of cock rings, and then she's on dating apps do's and don'ts, which I feel like that's not Minisode 9. It might be Minisode. I don't know. But her and Ahava are on that. But anyway, so her birthday is May 18th, but I'll be telling her like the 16th or the 17th. Who else? Juwan, his birthday was June 8th. I texted him on June 5th, freaking the fuck out, like, yo, OG, my bad, happy birthday. And he was like, nah, you early. That's like, you know, this is actually, you start in the line, you know? Everybody, from now on, you gotta tell me. And that's what ends up happening, is that, like, every year, I'm like, I got it. This is your birthday. And they be like, thanks, but it's actually this day. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to be back. And so I'll come back on that day, and I'll always say, like, I'm going to get it right next year. And I never fucking get it right. And so everybody is just like, it's okay because this is my new birthday. Like, if you don't tell me happy birthday on this new day, I'm going to really think you don't fuck with me. So I can just never remember anybody's birthday anymore. And then what I will leave y'all with, I made some Alfredo last night. I haven't made Alfredo in a while. And I've recently, which I realized what would probably be better, because like frozen chicken breasts, they'd be like $9 for a bag of frozen chicken breasts, right? And I was like, I don't understand why I keep doing that when I can just go to the grocery store when chicken breasts are on sale. I could just get a family pack and I could freeze them myself and get more bang for my buck. But, you know, sometimes I just don't always be thinking. So, anyway, as of recently, I have been getting, like, the pre-frozen chicken breast to just take one out and go on about my business. So, the last time I went to Lidl, I was picking up this bag and I was like, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of chicken in it. Because I think the first time I did it, I had maybe like, I want to say I had at least 6, if not more. And so when I picked up the bag, I was like, it's definitely not as many chicken breasts in here as it was, but it's heavy as fuck. And I just couldn't figure out why. And I kept like moving the different bags around, and they were all like that. So I just said, fuck it, I'ma just buy it. So I get home, and it was only 3 chicken breasts in there. But 2 out of the 3 were monstrous. They were legit bigger than my head. And this is where I insert a picture so y'all know I'm not exaggerating. That shit was big as fuck. 2 chicken breasts like that. So I've just been so scared, because it's like, what are y'all feeding these chickens? That's not okay. It's no reason. It's like y'all just took the whole chicken and plucked it and froze it. It's no reason why this damn chicken breast is that fucking big, bro. So that's all I gotta say this week. Y'all go join Patreon, go buy some sex toys. Really think long and hard about your superpowers and what you want them to be, and like if there was a stipulation, what would that stipulation be? Like, what kind of stipulation are you willing to deal with versus not? And how are you celebrating freedom for freed, no longer enslaved African Americans? And how are you celebrating and uplifting that culture and that history? Okay, y'all be safe. Ooh, it's ringing in my ears. Y'all be safe, make good choices. Bye.